in a negative format, where now the delegated committee has to make a recommendation for annulment, would otherwise become law. I have heard the distinguished chair, Honorable Chepkonga, say that the delegated committee brings regulations for annulment only as a last resort. And even after begging the cabinet secretary to amend, that is when they bring it. That is very absurd. And I'm not saying absurd because I disagree with the chair. Absurd because under 94.5, we are the law-making organ, but yet we have to beg a cabinet secretary, please relook this and bring it back in an acceptable format. It is for this reason, Madam Chair, that I think that the Statutory Instruments Act and our standing orders need to be relooked. And I think the Honorable Horan Bayer sits in the committee that I sit of, House Rules and Procedure. And Madam Speaker, who has just vacated the chair, who chairs that committee, we have accepted a recommendation that I placed, that we amend the Statutory Instruments Act and we amend our standing orders to require that all regulation, whether affirmative or in the negative or in the positive, must find their way to this House, either by way of a report, so that this House may be able to stamp its foot of authority and say, proceed or do not proceed. That is the only way we can affirm our role under Article 95, 94.5 and 95 of the Constitution. Madam Speaker, I also say this in light of provisions of the Constitution which I hope at some point we will be able to relook. Under Article 115.7, we allowed, and the Honorable Otiende Amollo was there, will give us the benefit of what was the reasoning, allowed the President to make law and act as a lawmaker through the back door by allowing what you call presidential reservations. So that when you cannot raise the 2/3 requisite as a House to disagree with the President, that provisions become law. It should be the other way around. When we pass a law, the President should raise 2/3 to disagree with us. That is when we will exercise the supremacy of this House. And we borrowed the model of the US presidential system. And the US presidential system has said, time without number, and I just want to quote, the Supreme Court of the United States, Clinton versus New York, where it said that line veto amendment is unconstitutional. You cannot allow part reservations or line amendment of a law that we have made.
Honorable Anthony Oluoch, we have would you like to be informed by the Honorable Otiende Amollo?
Thank you.
Would you like to be informed?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Oluoch. Madam Speaker, I wanted to invite to inform Honorable Oluoch on two issues. One is